Our next presentation is capital projects. This is Fund 420. You may hear that term 420 because we like to use numbers. So capital projects is where we have our large projects out of, and the biggest one, or actually not the biggest one right now, but it does include the courthouse preparation expenditures. So we have revenue of 2.6 coming in, and then matching that in expense. So a total of 5.2 million is what it's going to come out here. So those are the type of projects that we have in here. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Thank you. So I wanted to share about our project. So our revenue. So in this largely is the 2.6 that I just referenced from the courthouse, and then the general fund support, which includes the matching 2.6 for projects, and then we had a beginning balance at 3.9. I will share that we had a larger beginning balance this year. We weren't able to do as many projects over the last 15 months as the teams have been focused on COVID and other disaster responses. But we have quite a lineup this year, anticipating getting several projects done. So on the other pie, you'll see in expenditures, we're looking at over 5.3 million anticipated in capital outlay. And then we are setting aside 2 million in this budget. That's one of the call outs we had at the beginning of yesterday, that was inadvertently put into capital outlay, but we are moving that. And it is actually in the software, it is identified as a reserve. So I wanted to share some of the highlights of the projects that are coming up. We have 2.4 million identified in new projects. Those are in addition to 2.8 million of projects that are carried over from last year. And some of those include security upgrades for 22 of our buildings. That's about $310,000 we're anticipating. Fairground electrical, our team does support the fairgrounds. Installing 10 charger stations throughout county buildings. Painting, we're always painting, so there's a lot of work there. And also various repairs and maintenance. Remodels, we talked about the assessor's office was remodeled, as well as the CUP building was remodeled, so things like activities like that in our Silver Oaks building. And they're the CUP building, which is the CUP stands for?
Central Utility Plant.
Central Utility Plant. And our we're going to be in phase 4 of that, which I think we should do a tour when that is complete. But right now our disaster management team has moved also into the CUP building. We're also looking at, to expedite some of the projects, do contract services. And so we have about 3.2 million that we look to contract out, either combined with our staff or just contract the positions out. And one of those was, I think we talked about earlier, is replacing the 4 40-ton rooftop air conditioning units at the Brooks building. And Jeff shared with me this morning that each of those units is as big as a small transit bus, to give you perspective on what that is. So we do contract that out. Also, we're going to expand the CUP parking lot for added vehicle security. We have a lot of trucks and equipment that have very expensive tools, and they're exposed, so we're looking at expanding that parking lot. And another parking lot is at the Bowman building to provide secure parking there as well. We have another rooftop air conditioning unit at our Public Safety Training Center, and that unit is at $500,000. So these are some significant projects that we have up ahead. And then lastly, these are just highlights, but I thought, we're always sealing and coating and repairing parking lots. One of the ones we have on our list is our Museum of Oregon Trail this coming year, to give them a better parking space. And I wanted to share that a lot of this is done with a team of 8. Our construction team has actually 10 FTEs. We have 8 current on staff that's been with us. In fact, I think later this week we might have the 9th already hired, and then the 10th position in recruitment. And our construction team spends about 64% of their time on these construction projects, like we just described, or overseeing that work. And 18% of their time is responding to work orders, because we have work orders from the various departments. We have a lot of activity going on. And then the other 18% is, there's vacation, there's sick, there's meetings, trainings. And so just a brief analysis of how this particular team uses their time. So I wanted to share that with you. So thank you.
Mr. Feely?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This question can go to whoever wants to answer. So this list of couple projects is, how does it compare to what needs to be done? And has your new software system informed you of projects that aren't on this list? I mean, I rarely see a public sector capital budget be adequate.
It's not adequate. Our list is longer than this. This is what is available to fit into the budget.
Right, okay.
So we have two full lists, one that, this is the full meal deal, and this is what we can afford.
And what's the order of magnitude of the difference between the two lists, roughly?
Well, it's probably double the list.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I see no other comments, so you can move on to your next presentation.